So a couple weeks ago, I made a video where I talked about a YouTube channel that had really poor quality English lessons, but thousands and thousands of people were watching them and liking them. And I talked about how there's a lot of bad English information online, and I gave you guys some better YouTube channels that you should check out instead. I think this is very true for online videos and even more true for actual English lessons. There are a lot of bad teachers out there, and I don't want you guys to waste your time and your money learning from someone that is not an effective teacher. So for today, I'm going to give you 6 things that you should consider and think about to help you figure out if your English teacher and if your English lessons are good. So these are true for a one-on-one English lesson or for a group class. The first thing that you should think about is, do I understand what my teacher is saying most of the time? So if you are an English teacher, it is your responsibility to communicate in a way that your students will understand. If they are beginners, you shouldn't talk at a native pace and you shouldn't use really advanced vocabulary. During my own private English lessons, the way that I talk when I'm working with a beginner is very different than the way I talk when I'm working with an advanced student. The reason that I say most of the time, not do I understand my teacher all the time, is your teacher should recognize your English level and speak in a way that you can mostly understand, but still challenges you a little bit. If they speak so simply that everything is easy to understand, they probably should try to challenge you a little bit more and speak faster or use more advanced vocabulary words. So if you occasionally don't understand what your teacher's saying, or if they use a difficult word you don't know, that's good, because that means you're learning. But if that's happening so often that you can't even communicate with this person, then that's probably not a great lesson. The second thing you should think about is, are you actually using the information that they teach? Are they teaching you random phrases and random words that you'll probably never need to know? Or are they teaching you important, common phrases that are related to your job and related to the reason that you're learning English? If you work in, for example, technology, your teacher should focus on teaching you common key vocabulary that you would need in the technology field. If you are a college student and you plan on studying in the US, your teacher should try to help you understand native idioms, slang, and other expressions that young people your age will use. So hopefully your teacher is teaching you correct, relevant information that is actually useful. Okay, this is a big one. Do they give you a chance to speak? A one-on-one English lesson should not be a lecture. You are there to practice your speaking, not listen to someone explain grammar. You can do that on your own time. There's plenty of great YouTube channels that explain grammar and vocabulary. When you're with your teacher, they should be asking you questions, asking you follow-up questions, and really encouraging you to get lots of good English speaking practice in. Okay, so the next tip is related to what I just said. When they are giving you this chance to speak and they're challenging you to express yourself in English, are they giving you feedback on the mistakes that you make? A good teacher, they should be having a conversation with you, but also listening closely for any mistakes that they hear. And then when you're done talking, or when there's a pause in the conversation, they should explain these mistakes to you and teach you what you should say instead. In my private classes, probably 80% of the time, that is all we're doing. I will be asking the student questions, listening closely to what they're saying, and writing down some things that are either wrong or don't sound very natural. Then, when they're done talking, we take a brief pause in our conversation to review the notes, and I teach them what they should say instead. And when they do give you that feedback, hopefully it's in a way that you understand, and it's not just them lecturing you. They can explain it and then have you make your own examples to help you remember. This is especially effective for vocabulary and specific common English mistakes. The next thing to think about: do the lessons seem to have an overall theme or plan? So if you work with someone for several weeks, the lessons should be kind of related to each other and gradually get more difficult as your English improves. This is much more effective than having random, unconnected lessons that are not at all related to each other. So hopefully your teacher not only has good individual lessons, but has a smart lesson plan that will help you succeed. And the last one, this isn't really related to their teaching, but do you enjoy talking with your English teacher? Do they seem interested in you, and do they seem interested in helping you improve? A great English teacher won't just teach you grammar and vocabulary, but they will encourage and motivate you to become the best English speaker you can possibly be. Okay guys, so those are my tips. It can be kind of difficult to find a great teacher that fits all this criteria, but the good news is that there are so many options and choices for both in-person lessons and online lessons that there's no reason that you can't find someone that can teach you effectively. Don't waste your time and money settling for an average or even a bad teacher that doesn't really seem interested in helping you. If you want to learn English, if this is important to you, then you need to find the best teacher you possibly can. I actually have room for a few more students, so if you really want to work with me, my lessons are not free. You would have to pay me money, but you can comment or email me, and maybe we can set up some lessons on Skype together. Keep studying hard, guys. If you have any questions, you can leave them in the comments, and I will do my best to help you out. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.